Talmor, Shishin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, hello.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
How's it going? Here we are in yet another intro, Jenny. It's a big one.
It truly is, and we can't be stopped. We will introduce every single freaking episode, whether you like it or not. If you missed it, we are having our third annual prom in Brooklyn, New York, and we are making it a 2-night affair this time around. Yeah. On Friday, April 17th, we'll be doing a live taping of I Was Made to Love You. And on Saturday, April 18th, we will be dancing the night away, decked out in our prom and cosplay best to our favorite hits from the late 90s and live music by yours truly, plus special guests.
Yes, we sold out of all of our VIP level tickets to our patrons. We also sold through the entire first round of the bundled tickets on Patreon in less than 2 hours. All those tickets went. So we added some more bundles for our patrons that are now no more. So the tickets that have been released today are for you, the public, everyone. You can head on over to bufferingthevampireslayer.com/prom for all of your ticketing needs. Those tickets are now being sold individually. So you can get one ticket for the taping. You can get one ticket for prom. Or if they are still there, you can get one ticket for each. But the bundles are no more. Those all went to our very, very hungry for prom patrons. Lastly, for prom, we're going to be hosting both events at the Bell House, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous space in Brooklyn. And we are so excited. Speaking of gorgeous things, Jenny.
Yes.
We have
Anya.
Yes, Anya is gorgeous. That is correct. But in addition to Anya, we have so many gorgeous new items in our store, in our U.S. store, in anticipation of the holidays. We have 2 new shirts up today. They're both designed by John Allison Weiss. One is a Sleepaway Witch Camp t-shirt. Honestly, I think it might be my favorite t-shirt of all. Like, I think it might be my favorite t-shirt we've ever made. And
it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And we're just really excited. So we put this Sleepaway Witch Camp t-shirt that, by the way, says in quotes underneath the Sleepaway Witch Camp logo, "Move a vending machine." It's pretty great.
Every camp needs a motto.
Oh my God. And we put it up in 2 color combinations for you. There's a gray with black ink. There's a maroon with sort of like a orangey ink. Really cool stuff. We also have a freaking new sweatshirt. It's a crew neck sweatshirt by popular demand. It says, "'Tis the season," whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
It has a stake and faith's knife and snowflakes. It's gorgeous. It's so exciting. It really is the season, whatever that
Faith will
means.
try to tell you it's crappy, but it's the opposite of crappy. It's magnificent. We also have some really fun Smash the Demon Lizard patriarchy stuff, including a new limited edition Demon Lizard tee that is black with gold foil print. So festive. Also, for the Jennies of the world, Jennies Unite, a beautiful green speckled diner mug. And also, are you ready? A holiday ornament. A beautiful, shiny, green ball featuring the Smash the Demon Lizard patriarchy logo. It is so lovely to look upon, lovely to hold. If you break it, consider it sold. Hang it on the tree and party with me.
Wow.
This is a poem from your friend Jenny.
I really, really, really hope that somebody out there sends us a photo where they're wearing their Smash the Demon Lizard Patriarchy shirt, sipping their coffee out of a Smash the Demon Lizard Patriarchy mug while sitting by their tree decorated with their Smash the Demon Lizard Patriarchy bauble.
To really nail that image, I think they're going to have to buy like 100 of the
to like decorate the whole
tree. It needs to be
tree.
the only thing on the tree.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. Wow.
That'll be me, actually. I'll be doing that. So.
Listen, one other new thing is coming your way in this episode because I'm not going to tell you what it's for, but Jenny, you made a new jingle for us this week, didn't you?
It's my finest work. It's my greatest accomplishment.
It truly is, I think.
Put all of my heart and all of my soul and all of my brain and all of my many, many dollar bills into it. All my resources.
Yes.
For something I truly believe in.
So just like get on into the episode in a few minutes and enjoy that. And this is a reminder that all of our jingles are available the moment that they release for our patrons that are at the $5 level or higher. They also get all the music that comes at the end of the episode when it releases. A lot of the jingles you can also, if you're not a patron of ours, a lot of them you can go to the jingles page and some of them are available for purchase. Some of them, one of them, is available for free, the Patriarchy jingle.
Yeah, as you so aptly put it on the page, hasn't it cost us all enough already?
I got jokes.
Okay, so hard shift from economy to hard shift from that discussion to everyone's favorite 4-category polling activity on a bi-weekly basis, the Sexual Tension Awards. Here are some results from the last episode. Out of My Mind, with a pathetic 4% of the vote. In last place, we have Spike and the Doctor. Apparently Time Winter and James Marsters don't have the kind of chemistry that you need to seriously get in the running for this competition. Then, in a turn no one saw coming, in third place for probably the only time that this has happened, that they've been in a nomination slot, Willow and Tara have just 13% of the vote.
Yeah, I mean, era. Tara needs to up her palm reading game. Maybe she could get some more percentage points.
Oh, true. Then in second place, we have a pairing that I thought might do a little bit better than this with 17% of the vote. We've got Spike and the Blood of the Slayer.
Mm-hmm. I thought it would do good, but I knew that this one was going to take the cake.
Well, yes. How could this not take the cake? The entree, the wine, and everything else, the tablecloth, the cat who hangs out in the kitchen and chases mice. In first place with a tidal wave of 66% of the vote, we have Spike and Dream Buffy.
Only 3% away from 69%. What a sad story.
Opportunity missed.
Well, those are your results for episode 4 of season 5, Sexual Tension Awards. Just a couple more quick things before we get into today's episode. I want to let you know that in addition to those jingles I was talking about that you get on Patreon, there's a lot of other stuff that goes on. You all voted, and on December 21st, we will be doing a Buffy watch, A Fool for Love, which is going to be a lot of fun, I think, because it'll be after we do our live taping in San Francisco. So we're going to have a lot to discuss and unpack.
Oh, yes.
However, I put Scream 2 on the list because I desperately wanted to watch it with all of you, and it almost won. So I've convinced Jenny to do another Buffy watch on January 11th.
The most Kristin move of all time.
I was like, but I wanna.
Jenny was like, I want to watch it. You're like, it's not enough for me to just watch it by myself or with friends or with my cats. Everyone must watch it. We must enjoy it together. We must commune.
Yes, it was
around
important.
The sacred altar of Scream 2.
So January 11th, we'll be watching Scream 2. And then, Jenny, you're going to be doing something fun on the 22nd of February, aren't you?
That's right, it's time for another Jenny Owen Young sings the Buffering the Vampire Slayer songbook in usually the key of beautiful C major, but occasionally some other not too far away from the key of C major keys. Live, a very special eve. I'm trying to run out of concert related lingo, and I don't even know if I finished the thought, but basically I'm playing a streaming concert for our beautiful patrons. I'll be playing some Buffering the Vampire Slayer songs. It's going to be a hoot. It's going to be a holler. Please join me February 22nd. Yes, that's 2/22/20.
Yeah, actually, the dates for all those things are kind of weird. 12/21, 1/11, and 2/22. It's like almost a bunch of ones and zeros. Are we resurrecting Adam with these 3 live streaming events? That's my question.
Mommy.
And if you're wondering how you can join in on all of this, plus the holiday gift exchange that is happening right now.
Oh my God.
That's right. Jenny and I get in on it too. Somebody gets matched with Jenny. Somebody gets matched with me. And all of our Scoobies who are in that Facebook group and want to join, and we all exchange gifts. It's so much freaking fun. So you can find out about all of this by going to bufferingthevampireslayer.com. Just click on Patreon. All of the things we just talked about, except for the jingles, go to every level. So you can give it any level for those things. The jingles and the music go to $5 and higher. Also $10 level, you get 20% off merch and also a mailbag coming your way in literally 2 days. Ha!
That's
okay.
20% off Christmas balls. That's 20% off speckled diner mugs. That's 20% off gold foil t-shirts.
If I had a cane, if I had one of those loopy canes, I would literally drag you off the stage right now.
That would be a 3,000-mile long cane from New York to LA.
Before I drag you off the stage, Jenny, I want to say 2 things. One, we'll get to in a second. But the first is that Paste Magazine, just a few days ago, released a list of the top 30 podcasts, not of 2019, but of the decade. And they named Buffering the Vampire Slayer as one of those 30 podcasts, the top of the decade. And I just wanted to give a special thanks to Paste, and maybe even more so than that, a special thanks to all of you, because quite literally this is the reason why we're here and doing the work, and we love our community. And it's just amazing, right? Jenny and I were like, what?
Yeah, it's totally bananas. It is mind-boggling. The brain reels upon the rod, as I always say.
You're really going for it today in this intro, Jenny. I'll tell you what. All right, I'm gonna take Jenny's voice from her like Ursula took from Ariel, because it's time for spooky news. Jenny, guess what I got for you today?
Is it a story about some skeletons?
It's not. It's about a bat, though a bat does have a skeleton.
Wow, I got so excited I almost breathed my coffee into my lungs. A bat!
A bat. So this
bat?
is a story from May of this year. An 86-year-old man picked up his iPad.
86-year-old bat.
Sorry, yeah, that was an unfortunate lead-in. No, I don't think bats can live that long unless they're Dracula. But an 86-year-old man picked up his iPad. Jenny, he used his iPad for an entire hour. At about the hour mark, a fucking bat popped its fucking head out of the iPad case and bit him.
Oh my God.
So this happened in New Hampshire, and actually, the guy got rabies, but he got treated for it. He's okay.
Shit.
I know, the bat's not okay, but the guy is okay.
Okay, he's going to be okay. I didn't even know you could still get rabies. I thought that was done.
Yeah. So, watch out.
Damn.
Apparently, they have no idea how the bat got in the iPad, so.
Yeah, always check your iPad case. I'm also just trying to envision what the hell kind of iPad case. How big is this bat? We need more details.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try to dig some more up for you, Jenny.
Thank you.
That, in the meantime, has been your spooky news.
Also, okay, there's still a handful of tickets available for our San Francisco show on December 6th. The tickets are on our website. No bats allowed, unfortunately. But if you're not a bat, please grab a ticket and come.
It's true. I just have a really tiny thing that I want to say. I have a sweatshirt up in my personal store. It says everyone is gay on it. And the reason I'm telling you this is because it is not a sweatshirt that I sell anymore. I just released it for the holidays. And today, November 13th, is the very last day that you can grab this sweatshirt until at least next year. But who knows when I'll bring it back. So if you want that, you can go to my store, KristinNoline.com. Just click on shop. I'm in Hello Merch. So if you want to pick up all your holiday goods and throw the Everyone is Gay sweatshirt in the bin too, you can do that. But literally today, after today, no more.
Also, holy shit, it's a really big week for me, if you don't mind. My EP, Night Shift, is coming out on Friday. That's in 2 days if you're listening to this on the day it comes out.
Holy shit.
You can still snag it via pre-order on my website at jennyowenyoungs.com. I ship out the pre-orders directly. They'll be up until... That page will be up until the 15th. And then after that, you'll be able to get the EP and all of the associated goods, merch, illustrated lyric book, etc. over in my Hello Merch store. And if you order an EIG sweatshirt and a copy of my EP, you can combine the shipping. And isn't that nice?
Wow. It'll be like a Russo Young's buffering family affair in your shopping cart. Jenny.
Yes.
Jenny, also, I just had this thought. Like, I would imagine that if people pre-order your EP in the next couple days before you are not shipping the orders anymore, the odds of them randomly getting a package that also contains a small business card with you dressed as a unicorn is higher. Is that correct?
Yes. Any and all pre-orders received and shipped by me between now, November 13th, and Friday, November 15th, will include a tiny business card of my unicorn photograph. You're welcome.
It's not a big deal. I just surprised Jenny by sending her 100 business cards that have no of her personal information on them whatsoever. It's just
zero
her
purpose of any kind other than just to spread the word about my unicorn onesie.
Oh, so get on over there. We've given you a lot to do. 'Tis the season. And we know what that means, don't we?
Welcome to Buffering the Vampire Slayer, a podcast where we are watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one by one, spoiler free. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I am Kristin Russo, and this week we are talking about Season 5, Episode 5, There's No Place Like Home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Except the title's just No Place Like Home. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast every week for an original song written by Jenny recapping the Buffy episode we are discussing. And if you haven't yet started listening to our Angel podcast, Angel on Top, it's hosted by Brittany Ashley and Laura Zach, and you really should be listening to it, in my opinion.
And in my opinion, No Place Like Home was written by Doug Petrie, directed by David Solomon, and originally aired on October 24th, 2000.
This is the one where Buffy learns more about Dawn after she discovers a mysterious orb linked to a group of monks being pursued by an incredibly powerful force. That's the IMDb description. This is the one where we learn that Dawn is the motherfucking key.
Yes, we do.
So right out of the gates, Jenny, I want to know why this one monk of the three does his hair by putting an actual bowl over his head and cutting it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? The blonde monk?
I mean, it's traditional monk styling. Gotta keep the hair out of your eyes so you can, genuflect and intone.
Sure.
In an unencumbered fashion. I want to know if the monks are subletting this place from Angel, because there are candles everywhere.
Well, candles make a lot more sense for monks than they do for, ensouled or not sold vampires.
Yeah, but how many people in Sunnydale you think have a candle collection that big, that extensive?
Yeah, only one.
I think Angel left them behind when he relocated.
So the monks are like, what is this, 2 months ago? And they're forming the key. Right? You know, everybody on the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer is getting ready for a new season 2 months ago. And 2 months ago, these monks were sitting in this room trying to protect their key.
Chanting intensifies while something bangs away at a barred door during this little ceremony that they're doing.
And then we cut to Buffy fighting a vampire as she does.
It was just Halloween in real life, and it's about to be Halloween in the like timeline of the just when this episode was airing. Buffy is definitely fighting a vampire who's trick-or-treating as Stone Cold Steve Austin. And she's wearing a fluffy fur coat.
She is. It's so fluffy. It's so unlike every other leather coat we've ever seen her in. So maybe she's a little festive for the season as well.
Ooh.
We also learned that she always wanted piano lessons. One of her quips is, I always wanted piano lessons. And I just thought, well, that would be nice. You know, if Joyce and ex-husband of Joyce had given Buffy some piano lessons, like would have been.
Well, she was so busy with ice skating.
That's true. She did love those ice capades and the movies. Wow, she really does love ice skating, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. And those lessons aren't cheap either, I imagine.
It's true. And this is like, I know this is just a quip and I know I'm just having a good time with it, but it also kind of ties into one of the bigger themes of the episode, which is that Dawn is getting, and the season really to date, that Dawn is getting all of these like fun bonding things with Joyce. She's getting to be a little kid. She's getting to enjoy stuff. Meanwhile, Buffy is, instead of playing her piano solo at the recital, she is killing vampires in an alleyway. She did not get the full childhood that she wished that she could have gotten.
Right.
If she had, perhaps she would have gone to the rave last night that was at this factory.
Yes, but alas, the rave is no longer here. That was a rave of yesterday. And this is an abandoned building of now.
Yeah, so...
and this security guard doesn't understand this generation of Buffy's and tells her, don't forget your glowing orb, as she leaves.
Did you ever go to a rave, Jenny?
Oh my God, no.
I mean, I did.
But, no, I know, but like if you had asked me like, when I was a teenager, if I'd ever gone to a rave, I would have answered like, no.
No one ever invited me to a rave. I went to a rave, but it was just once, and I'm not sure. Like it was called it was a rave, but it doesn't seem as ravey as some of the raves I've heard about now. You know, like people who've also went to raves like regularly. I'm like, I wasn't out until 8 a.m. at my rave, so it feels like maybe I didn't really fully.
You weren't doing it right.
Right, exactly. It was one rave. It was my first one. I went. There were glow sticks and some other stuff, and I left at a reasonable, 2, 3, 4 a.m. hour.
They at least made the bare minimum.
I did. I got to check it off on my list, So after she gets handed this glow ball, which we learn later in the episode is the Dagon sphere, not to be confused with I'm sorry, Jenny, but the orb of fucking Thessala and the fucking Dagon sphere, like you put those two
first
orbs
cousins.
next
They
to each
are
other.
First cousin glowing orbs.
So we cut to the credits. So Jenny, something I know about you is that you are a big fan of breakfast food. You love to make pancakes. You love to make all manner of wonderful breakfasts. So I thought that this was a great looking French toast, but I feel like you're the one to really assess it.
So I was so full of rage watching this scene that I completely failed to take appropriate notice of the French toast, and for that I am sorry.
No, I mean, we've opened another door. Why were you so full of rage?
Just Dawn's making me crazy in this scene. God,
do you think
flowers knocking over the vase?
Write me a script, or whatever you want to call it. Write me something where Dawn is actually not Dawn; she's Bella, and the little sister of Buffy is actually Bella Swan.
Oh my God, she's so clumsy.
She's so clumsy. She's just always dropping vases.
Vampires. Yo, let's see if I can do this without spoiling. On Halloween, I went to see a live performance of a episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Uh-huh.
And there were, as you would expect, like a bunch of human beings playing the various characters.
Uh-huh.
But then when Dawn entered the stage, it was revealed that Dawn was just played by a plush hand puppet of a little girl, which felt very satisfying and appropriate, and I wanted to let everybody know.
So you're angry at Dawn. So angry. All she did was knock over a damn vase.
Yeah, well, it's all she does all episode is knock shit over.
Wow.
Watch your elbows. Although, I'm very clumsy, so maybe I'm just projecting my own disappointment in myself onto Dawn.
Well, Joyce comes in, and Dawn does take credit for everything, basically.
Oh, my God, and it makes me so mad.
Just done. But we learned that Joyce is having more headaches, and also that she calls Dawn Pumpkin Belly. So...
Oh, God.
I don't really like that as a nickname, but that's fine.
That.
It's not my nickname.
Get it out of here. Yeah, okay.
And this is, again, we don't have to hit every one of these moments, but Buffy is like, did I have any nicknames when I was a kid? And Joyce is like, no, you were just Buffy. And then we learn that in the absence of Pat, Dawn has been going to book club.
I think Dawn and Joyce have a private book club.
Yeah, no, I do too. I just
like,
couldn't
what are
say
they
book
reading?
club without
Sweet
saying
Valley
Pat.
High? Is Joyce reading Sweet Valley High?
Oh my God, or maybe
Dawn?
Sweet Valley Twins. I think
God.
that
are they the younger ones?
Yeah,
what happens in Sweet Valley?
Yeah, Sweet Valley High was the like main one, and then Sweet Valley Twins, they were a little bit younger. And I actually read a lot of Sweet Valley Twins. But I think that Dawn would be reading the Twins and not the High. There was one where one of the twins got her period, and I was fascinated with it. I was fascinated with any book that anyone got their period in, because apparently nobody was telling me anything that I needed to know.
Just gathering information wherever you could find it.
Yeah, it was like, are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. That Sweet Valley Twins book. There's probably a Babysitter's Club that has a period in it, but I don't remember that as much as
oh my word.
The other two. Anyway.
Speaking of new beginnings.
Oh my God. Okay, so this next scene is, I mean, it's one of the most epic scenes in the whole series, if you ask me personally. Do you agree with this, Jenny?
It's quite special.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, it's the scene where Buffy enters the magic shop. It's grand opening day, and Giles is standing there in his wizard hat and his wizard cape. But I counted. Okay, so the scene actually starts before this 6 minute and 41 second mark, but at 6 minutes and 41 seconds is when Buffy first sees Giles, okay? It is silent from 6:41 to 6:55. It's 14 complete seconds of silence and 6 cuts back and forth. Buffy's face, then we see Giles for the first time. Then we see Buffy's face. And it does that 6 times. It is fucking hilarious. And whoever edited this shit deserves a standing ovation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, really something.
It's so special. And I mean, we can't go any further, I don't think, without playing Giles' jingle.
Sure.
Giles, hot dad. When you were younger, you were real bad. But now you're older, you've got glasses that help you watch over us. Thank you, Giles.
I don't know if he's quite a hot dad in his wizard costume.
Say, but then he takes it off. So reverting back to regular hot dad form. And he's kind of, I think, stressing out a little bit, but trying to be cool on top, on the surface, about the fact that there are no customers yet.
Yeah, do you think he did enough like signage outside? I mean, I feel like Giles is the kind of guy who probably focused so much on the detailia of like the store itself being perfect that perhaps he forgot to put up like grand opening balloons.
Yeah, you know what I'm concerned about? He's the sole proprietor of this business and has no employees. He's just like, hey, teens that I hang out with, come do free labor for me all day.
Yeah, it is curious that he decided to hire no one. 0 people.
Yeah. I like when Buffy says you'll be making money hand over fist, and then kind of puts her hand over her fist and tries to figure out like, what is the origin?
Do you know?
Colloquialism.
Do you know what the origin is?
No, did you look it up?
I did. So I would like for you to guess first what the origin is of hand over fist.
I always just picture it as like, oh, you're making so much money that you're like reaching and grabbing some, and then as you're pulling that money back with your fist, you're reaching your open hand towards some more money that you're then grabbing, and it just is like a cycle of grabbing money and your open hand reaching for the money, passing over your fist, clutching the money you've already obtained, and then there's a little girl selling matches, and then she dies.
And she has a penny.
Yeah, she has 2 pennies actually.
2.
And then there's 3 bears.
And Little Red Riding Hood is there. So you're actually, I mean, your imagery is pretty spot on, but it has nautical origins, Jenny. It's it originated from the speed at which you would pull the rope on a boat. So
hell yeah.
Same gesture, right? That same thing that you were saying, but instead of money, it was a rope. And it actually originated in the 1800s, meaning a steady pace. Like you would steadily kind of like hand over fist or hand over hand. But then by the 1900s, that meaning sort of changed to be fast, quickly, hand over fist.
Right.
So yeah, so you were not far off. It's just that instead of money, it was a rope.
Isn't all money kind of a rope at the end of the day?
Great.
Anyway,
transition.
Don't think too hard about that. I love. Oh, so Buffy. Just like quick aside, Buffy's like worried about Joyce, and she tells Giles, "Whatever. I'm concerned, but I'm way more concerned about the fact that Willow dragged Riley down to the magic shop so that he could also see Giles in his wizard cloak."
It's really cute. It's really cute. It's also like so amazing the opposite personalities we have in Willow and Buffy, that like we just had this whole scene where Buffy was literally staring death daggers at his costume. Meanwhile, Willow is like more excited than she's been about anything else in her life. Also, why is she not bringing Tara? You know what I mean? Tara's the one who would love this fucking hat.
I don't know. I think Riley's got space in his heart for Giles looking goofy.
That's true. One quick thing before we move forward with this scene. I know it's not like the pivotal scene in the episode, but Dawn, so when Buffy comes in, Dawn like runs in after her and is like, "You thought you could lose me, but you were wrong." And I'm just like, okay, hold up, back up for a second.
There's like one street in Sunnydale.
Yeah. And what did Buffy do? Like, did Buffy leave with Dawn and then just like run as fast as she could, hoping Dawn wouldn't catch up? Anyway, it was just a thing that I noted that I wanted to ask you about. Also, Dawn has a really hilarious moment where she's like, "Oh, there's all these talisman, Talis dudes, Talis guys." She's like trying
Talis
to be
fellas. Yeah, what's the plural of talisman?
Talis. I think Talis dudes is what I would vote for.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
Then Buffy's like, "Yo, there's this fucking orb." And Giles is like, "It's got to be paranormal because it's so shiny," which I think is pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, some of the more reasonable reasoning we've heard on the show up to this point.
Right, and then Dawn opens her big mouth.
Oh, no.
And she really blows it for Buffy when she's like, "Yo, Buffy doesn't even want you to go on patrol. She says you can't do anything, basically. You're really cute and kitteny." And Riley goes from being like embarrassed to like so embarrassed and has to leave the room because this is the worst. And Dawn's clueless. She has no idea that she's upset him.
Yeah, I mean, and this is tough, but I feel like it's got to be extra irritating to get dealt a blow like this via Dawn.
Yes.
Ugh.
Because also it's like, not only do you know that your girlfriend is like talking about your weakness, but she's talking to her little sister who she doesn't even like about your weakness.
Or at least in front of your little sister.
So Riley's like, "Yo, I gotta get out of here. Is the danger room open?" What?
Danger room. It's like, let's actually look up the origin of that because I think it's just like you know what it is? It's the X-Men. So the X-Men in Charles Xavier's compound where he's educating young mutants and also running the X-Men, they have something called the Danger Room, which is like sort of a combat training simulator that can kind of just like come up with anything. Sentinels, Magneto,
so he's
whatever.
Talking
so
about train. He's talking about the training room, but he's being cool about it.
Yes, I would say that by talking about the X-Men, he is being cool about it.
Well, I mean, some might say nerdy,
genuinely
but
believe
here...
that, but I want to make it open to other people to not feel like that. The X-Men rock.
Really quickly, I just want to pull out some terminology here that I assume a lot of you already know is pretty ableist and inappropriate. That's said in this scene. But just in case you don't, Willow says, so Willow is basically saying to Buffy, because Buffy's furious as Jenny is at Dawn. Buffy is that mad. And Willow says, go easy on her. She's a spaz, just like me. Yeah, no, Willow is talking about how like quirky and clumsy and what have you, but spaz is a word rooted in spastic. It's, a word that's rooted in disability. And so it's not a great word. But in the 90s, guess what? We all said it. And a lot of people still say it now. So just in case you didn't know, that word is not cool.
Yeah, that's a word you could stop saying if you are saying it.
Buffy wants to know why she can't be a little pumpkin belly.
Oh, who wants to be... I don't even want to say that phrase.
Say it, Jenny. Say it. Say it.
Who wants to be a lil pumpkin belly?
Nice.
So gross. Buffy's like, why can't I ever be a little pumpkin belly? And Willow's like, while I don't feel qualified to address
speak to
that part of your question. And then Dawn breaks some more shit in the magic shop. Ah!
Wow. I'm surprised, actually, Jenny. I didn't think your Dawn disdain, your Dawn stain would pick up so quickly.
This episode is like particularly egregious, or like the beginning of this episode is very like frustrating. Okay. Then Joyce is laid up with a headache. She's not feeling so great. Buffy's like, let me go get your script at the hospital pharmacy. Then it's like, hi, Ben. And now I have to tell you something.
Oh, boy.
You and everyone who's listening. Are you prepared?
I'm ready.
I was recently watching the music video for the Puddle of Mud song, She Hates Me. It doesn't matter why.
I'm sorry.
It's none of your goddamn business.
Sorry. I'm going to let you jump off this launch pad in a second, but I just want to let you know that as somebody who doesn't know what you've been watching lately, that my updates have been in chronological order, eyes wide shut, a live of a live performance of a Buffy episode and this music video. So I just want to say...
That's right.
Your taste is incredibly eclectic.
Well, I have many facets. I contain multitudes.
Okay, so you're watching Puddles of Mud. Whatever.
Puddle of Mud with 2 Ds, and the song is She Hates Me. Do you know that song?
Sing a little bit of it.
It's like, you're gonna know it as soon as I sing it. It's like, she fucking hates me. La 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 la, she fucking hates me.
Yes, I do. Suddenly I could see both of those D's at the end of Mud very clearly.
Exactly. And the band kind of looks like 4 dudes from American Gladiators borrowed the wardrobe of like Hinder. And they just have like long flowing hair, and they make really strong eye contact with the camera, and they're like, la 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 la. Okay, so first of all, I was first shocked to learn that the one girl who fucking hates you in this music video is played by none other than Lila fucking Garrity. Minka Kelly is just there on the bed with her stuffed animals, singing into her corded phone.
Wow.
Okay, but that's not why we're here today talking about Puddle of Mud.
I'm always here for Lila Garrity.
The premise of this video is that there's a bunch of people in like high school and also working in like a variety of food service jobs, like the like a counter guy, and then there's a gentleman washing like dishes, running the dish zone in the back of a restaurant. And I'm pretty fucking sure that young gentleman, I would recognize those soft, pouty lips and that feathered hair just about anywhere. I'm pretty sure it's fucking Charlie Weber who plays Ben. And however, if this is accurate, the credit has been scrubbed from the internet. So if anyone can confirm or deny for me that that's Charlie Weber in the music video of She Hates Me by a puddle of mud.
Wow.
Please write in and let us know. Thank you.
Incredible. Before you said you couldn't find it, I was like, I cannot believe that you are telling us this entire story and you didn't look up to confirm if it was Charlie, if it was him. So now it all makes sense. Please let us know. Wow,
Thank
Jenny.
you.
What
What else? What next?
a ride. What a ride. Love.
That's all I have to say about this episode.
So, okay, well, I have a jingle to play for Ben right out of the gates here. He calls himself, he says, you can refer to me as man nurse, which could get this jingle, but I'm actually going to give the jingle for the next thing he says, which is when Buffy sort of pins this, patient, which we will learn is the security guard from before, down to the bed. He says, something like, I don't mean to, like... sexually harass you in the
sexist in the workplace.
In the workplace, right. But you've got some serious muscles for a girl. The patriarchy!
Here's the thing. I think that am I just always going to be the devil's advocate of this podcast?
You're going to devil's advocate the patriarchy jingle on you've got serious muscles for a girl?
He is very self-aware that what he's saying could be interpreted as rampantly sexist. But he has just witnessed a feat of great strength. There are like multiple people trying to hold this guy down. And Buffy like one arms it.
Yeah. And he could say you've got some serious muscles. A girl.
That's just like, goddamn.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. The thing that gave up the jingle was the for a girl, not that he recognized that she had super stress. I mean, that, yes, of course. Okay. Goodness gracious. I'm like, sometimes I wonder, what are we even doing here? So he's like, oh, it's a radioactive spider bite. And she's like, something like that, which is cute.
Yeah, I like that. Just a little more comics stuff, a little more Marvel.
Right. And then we get this moment with the security guard where she's like, I know this guy. Like, I just saw him and he was not talking the way that he's talking right now. And he looks at her and looks at the meds that she's holding and is like, those don't help. And then he's like, they come through the family. They're going to come after your family. They're blah, 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 blah. And she's like, fuck. I think she drops the pills, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Buffy's like, yo, I know what this is about. I've done 5 seasons of this television show, and my mom isn't sick. She's being fucked with by a demon of some kind. She runs off, and then we get to a very important scene.
There's a big metal door.
There sure is.
3 monks have become one, just like in the Spice Girls song.
Exactly what I thought of the minute you said it.
And something scary is bang, bang, banging away at that big metal door.
It's true. As a matter of fact,
what do you think happened between 2 months ago and right now? How many doors has that thing kicked down?
I don't know. And that's what I was wondering because the door of the front of the place is intact. So I'm just curious. Did the beast fall from the sky like Angel fell from hell that one time? And was she wearing the red dress already? Did she put it on in the back room? Because she's obviously not come through the whole building like that. So I'm not sure. But alas, the door busts down. And it's a pretty epic. I mean, this is a pretty fucking rad thing because it's obviously played for her size. The door is monstrous and made of metal. And when it falls down, it's this huge cloud of dust. And the silhouette that we see is miniature, right? It's like literally the size of Buffy. This beast and Buffy are matched. They're exactly the same size. They're not matched in strength, which we'll find out in a few scenes. But the camera focuses in and she has on a beautiful red dress, lipstick that matches. Faith would be stoked on this choice of fucking lipstick. If you have thoughts on what the shade is called, please write into us at bufferinthevampireslayer@gmail.com. And her hair is just glorious, I think. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would agree. Mm-hmm.
And she says, I've been looking all over for you, and we cut. And we cut to the magic box where Giles is making his first sale.
What?
He's so excited.
Yeah, he's positively giddy until Anya trounces in, loudly proclaiming that the conjuring powder is grotesquely overpriced.
Yeah. And not only does Anya have some complaints about the conjuring powder prices, because I'm sure that all of you listening thought we're going to hear from Kate Leth, and we're going to hear from Kate Leth as soon as this red dress and red lipstick appear. And I thought so too, listener. However, I had to give it another beat because then Anya showed up wearing this leopard dress. And I texted Kate about this leopard dress, and she immediately texted me back the name of this dress. I had no idea what she was talking about. And I was like, all right. Save it for the podcast. So may we please go to Kate Leth?
It's time for our friend Kate to give you the Buffy fashion update.
Well, hello indeed, and welcome back to Buffy Fashion Watch. I usually have to watch out for the planes going by in the background when I'm recording, but today you might hear some kitty purrs because Ray, one of my adorable little cats, has decided to curl up right next to the microphone and absolutely refuses to leave. So she's a part of this as much as you and I. All right, so with that covered, and as Ray tries to devour my hand, let's talk about the incredible fashion in an episode where Giles wearing a wizard costume and hat is actually maybe not the standout look from the episode. I don't know. There's definitely some competition because not only do we have the Beast, the unnamed figure of great power and fashion, who shows up in an incredible form-fitting red dress and heels that, well, don't exactly work out for her. We've also got Anya in a leopard print cheongsam. It was very funny because Kristin texted me a screen cap of Anya's dress in the magic box, and I immediately wrote back, "Oh my God, is that a leopard print cheongsam?" And Kristin was like, "What?" It's a very particular kind of dress. It's Chinese. It's a traditional look. It's also called a qipao, and they were very big in the 90s before mainstream folks, I think, had any concept of cultural appropriation. They were everywhere, and you might feel a little strange if you saw them now, but at the time, real big. And honestly, the leopard print, it's really working for Anya. Now, I might be biased because I'm literally wearing two leopard print items right now, both a turtleneck with puffy sleeves. Sorry that I keep laughing. This cat is licking my hand the entire time that I'm talking, but also some leopard print sandals that would not be out of place in this episode. But we've also got some really great looks from Buffy. I'm a big fan of the t-shirt with the sparkly devil on it. It does remind me of that cat sticker I talked about many, many episodes ago now. She is still licking my hand. This is many takes later, by the way, so I'm just rolling with it at this point. But I also really, really love her look from the beginning of the episode where she has that necklace that's kind of almost designed like a tie, where it's got that clip in the middle and bits hanging down, and then she also has that sort of gold tassel-y belt thing happening. There's a lot of midriff, a lot of hint of midriff happening. Also, another rare shout out to Xander. That, kind of slightly V-necked red sweater is really working for him. Like he looks good in this episode. He walked into the magic box and I thought, damn, is that Xander? All right, cool, whatever. Let's look at Anya again so I don't feel weird about it. And then we did, and everything was fine. Now, I'm not ignoring Willow's adorable Daisy sweater. It's very cute. I also really like that lavender denim jacket with the matchy dangly earrings that she's got going on. I'm currently rocking kind of a short bob myself, and that thing where the earrings sort of hang below the line of the bob is just, it's so classy. I feel like Miss Fisher every time, even if I sort of just look like hot trash, but it's a good inspiration, and Willow's definitely pulling it off. And Dawn kind of doesn't get a lot of fashion highlights in the show because she's 15 and they're dressing her like she's 15, and being 15 in the early 2000s was a nightmare where fashion was concerned. But I will say that patchwork denim jacket that she has, my friend Alen wore to a Dress as Your High School Self party once when I was, I think, 22, and I wanted it so much that she gave it to me, and I'm pretty sure I still have it. So, Dawn's getting one thing right. And with that said, I will leave you to the rest of your episode. And until next time, I'll see you at the mall.
That was our friend Kate. She gave you the Buffy fashion update.
Oh my goodness. So
Bless.
can you even? Just it was just a casual day over here. I sent Kate a text message and she comes back with some hot terminology. She literally was like, did I come out too hot with my fashion nerd? And I'm like, no, never, Kate, never.
No such thing.
No. So,
okay.
Thank you, Kate.
So, Anya, in this dress, is feeling bitter because she's never had to afford things before, which further continues to raise this question for me. What is the economy of vengeance demons like? Does the Hoffren pay them a stipend? Do they just... It's not like they can, like, create money, for example. Or can they? Can they just,
I'm sure they can.
Okay, so
probably
individual
probably the
vengeance
crash
demons
of 2008 is because the demons made too much money, you know?
Okay.
But no, I thought we were running with the severance package being the canon of what has happened here. Because I literally,
yes, that. But for the 1,000 years that she was a vengeance demon, why didn't she have to afford things? Was it because she could create her own money or what?
I wonder if demons, so we've talked a lot already on the podcast about, you know, they have their own salon, they have their own bar at Willie's, they've got their own like heating and cooling systems, they've got the whole underground thing. So I wonder, because you bring up, I think, a good point, Jenny, which is, you know, we use the dollar. I was recently in France. I was using euros. You travel to other places. There's internet money now. So demons? Sure.
I recently bought some Bitcoin.
You brought. Okay, listen. You can't just throw that on me.
Sorry.
Fucking
there
throw.
I was
bought
watching
some
the Puddle
Bitcoin.
of Mud music video.
What
for
is
She
happening
Hates Me
to
while
you?
Buying some Bitcoin.
Somebody save Jenny. She's sitting in her room watching Puddles of Mud videos, buying Bitcoin.
Oh my God. Puddle. Singular puddle. Singular puddle, 2 Ds on the mud.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Wow. The whole episode is thrown because I'm only going to be thinking about the fact that you own Bitcoin for the rest of today. But I wonder if demons have their own currency, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a really interesting question.
And you know what I think?
Barter, do they rely more heavily on barter? I wonder.
Right. But I do think that we know one thing, Jenny, and that's that you and I just did some serious hell math. Okay, so Buffy's like, yo, remember that fucking orb? I think my mom is sick because of it. And there's this really great little comedy moment where like Anya, Giles, and Willow all take like one giant step back from the orb. Buffy's like, no, it's like, it's not going to hurt us. But it's making her sick. And they're like, what are you going to do about it? And she's like, I'm going to find them. I'm going to hunt them and I'm going to kill them. Which reminded me, Jenny, a bit of Want, Take, Have. I feel like she's taking a page out of that.
Oh my God.
Book. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Faith is one of the great early pioneers of saying things in threes.
Yeah, with all that 5 by 5.
Her triplicate intentions.
Her phrase should have been 3 by 3. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we cut to the Beast in the warehouse, who is monologuing about how much she hates the mortal coil. She could crap a better existence than this one.
Gross. Uncalled for.
She says, Jenny, that she's been told she has boundary issues, which made me laugh so hard because I was like, does she go to therapy? Like, who has told her that she has boundary issues? Is it a previous relationship of hers? Like,
ooh, good question.
I just want to, right?
I want to know too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's she even interacting with besides these guys?
I know. I mean, I guess we don't know. But I guess also we find out that she does have actual physical boundary issues just moments later when she puts both of her hands inside of the head of the other security guard.
Gross.
So maybe perhaps it was just one of these other people that she's brain sucked who said, excuse me, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
You seem to have some boundary issues. So she's pissed because this monk won't tell her where the key is.
She wants that key. And she's all sweaty about it. Ooh.
I think you might have just become eligible for one of our sexual tension award nominations without
Yeah,
knowing
it's definitely the most anybody gets sweaty about anything in this episode. There's not a lot of sexual tension to be found, so I'll take it where we find it.
Right. There's also a moment, like a very commentary on the worst parts about America, I think, where she's like, the monk says something in his language and she replies half back in his language, and then she's like, this is the new world, speak American, which is obviously a dig on all of the people that still exist today, unfortunately, in the same and even more dangerous ways. Cool. Moving along.
Okay, so in go the fingers, and then
gross, Jenny. So
and then we
that
trot
is
over.
what she said.
She said that she is me. Let me live. The magic box is overrun. Giles is in a what?
Wait.
What?
Two really big things happen in the scene before this. Before we go to the magic box. One is, well, first of all, the Beast delivers a monologue in her like meltdown state that is incredible, which I personally would love to play if that's all right with you, Jenny.
Go for it.
I bet this is fun for you, isn't it? Say, you like to torture me. Why? You don't even own the damn thing, and I want it, I need it, and I've got to have it now, and you keep refusing to tell me where the key is. And it's typical. It's typical. The whole mortal meat sack comes complete with stinking bile, sweat, and protein. Yes, I said humans. Not now. Mommy's talking, wriggling, piling, prowling, crawling, clowning, cavorting, doing it over and over and over and over. So someone's gonna sit down on their tub and make this birthing.
Okay, so two things about this monologue. One, there's a really key thing that she says, which is sit down. Like she says something about like sitting down on your tuffet. And this is the third time that we have heard reference to Little Miss Muffet, right?
Yes.
So, just fun. It's like the polar bear in Lost. We got to keep track of it.
Birds of a lipstick flock together, as I've always said.
And then the other thing is that the moment that I heard her say wriggling, piling, prowling, crawling, I asked Jenny if she might make a little something for us, and she did.
And here it is.
Wriggling, piling, prowling, crawling, and let's not forget cavorting. So you're all welcome for that gift.
Yeah, the theme song, we all just want to find other way, like any excuse I have to listen to that song in any form. I'm just like, please.
Please.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. And if you have sensitive skin, you're going to want to hear about their scientifically proven topical supplements. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy, their products are safe for sensitive skin. It's just one of the reasons they've earned the skin-safe seal of approval.
They've also earned the Jenny Owen Youngs and Kristin Russo seal of approval, if I do say so myself, Jenny.
I couldn't agree more. I've been using OneSkin for a few months, and after a few weeks, I remember it like it was yesterday. I texted Kristin, and I was like, maybe she's born with it. I looked in the mirror that morning and was like, oh, things are happening, and I am happy.
I have used a million billion skin products, and I did not think that I was going to switch off of the skin like lotion, the moisturizer that I used and the under eye cream that I use, because I have used them for a little while and I really like them. And I've switched completely, which is a pretty big deal. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and if you can, please tell them that we sent you.
Do you know what lies within nothing?
No.
Do you know where it ends? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.
Please. All right, now we can get to your busy magic box, Jenny.
Okay. The magic box is full. There are people everywhere. People want things from Giles, and he's all stressed out about it. Then in comes Xander in a red sweater looking muscular and tall and like he's been hitting the gym. He looks great. His hair is at a really good length.
Wow, we're really going for a Xander detour, aren't we?
Xander looks great in this episode, and who knows how long it'll last, so why not call it out while it's there to enjoy? Meanwhile, Anya finishes a transaction with a customer and says, "Please go."
Please go.
And then Xander says, "Hey, why don't you try saying, 'Have a nice day'?" And she says, "I have their money. Who cares what kind of day they have?" The sweet days before we all felt the great weight of the leaden boot of late-stage capitalism upon our necks, and we could enjoy jokes like this one.
Well, and Xander is like, it's a long cultural tradition of raging
insincerity.
So then she tries to say have a nice day. And she's like, "Hey, you, have a nice day. And Jenny, something really important, I think, is about to happen. It could have happened really at any point, but this is the point in which I think we should give Anya something that you made for her. Don't you?
Anya, I made something for you. I hope you like it. Here it is.
She spent 1 millennium demonically vengeancing, speaks her mind and then some. She's partial to the finer things and down with double boyfriends, oh yeah. Exchanging cash for goods and also services. She'd love to hold the money for ya. She'll hold that cash. Just keep the bunnies far from Anya.
I need to call out Willow for not knowing how the fuck to gift wrap something.
Yo, Willow
What's
is
wrong
the worst.
with this girl?
This is bad. I'm not good at wrapping things, but this is real bad.
Yeah, it looks like it just looks like something she pulled out of the trash when she's done.
Her hands are like stuck inside of it when she's done. And Anya, is like, yeah, it looks good if you wrapped it with your feet. Which, like, accurate. Also, fucking Giles is losing his mind. He's like, there's so many people and I don't know what to do. And before Xander talks to Anya, he's like, listen, man, stay British. You'll be okay. Which is cute. Okay, so then we get to the part in the episode where Anya basically is like, hey, I've got an idea. There was this sorcerer named Cloutier, and he was so cute in his little knickers. And he had this... Yeah, I mean, I would love more backstory on that. But he had this trance spell or trance that you could put yourself in to see spells. You could see, we learned that every spell leaves sort of like a signature mark that humans can't see. But with this spell, you can see it. So Buffy's like, cool, I'll do it because then I can figure out what's hurting my mom. And, they're a little worried. They're like, really, are you sure? And she's like, I've been training for this moment. I've got it, guys.
Yeah, so she goes home to do the spell, and she asks Riley to help her out, but there's really nothing for him to do, as he is quick to notice and inquire about. And she says, no, but there's like magic incense and spooky sand.
Sand
could use some help wrangling the spooky sand.
Yeah.
And Riley's like, is this to make up for me, being all weak and kitteny?
He says kittenish. She corrects him today.
No, he says kitteny and she corrects him to kittenish.
Oh, it's kittenish. I thought it was kitteny. I think you're wrong, actually.
You want to put $5 down? Make it interesting?
$5 down. $5 says, Buffy says kitteny, and Riley says, kitteny, much manlier than kittenish. Getting nervous over there, aren't you, Jenny? Quaking in your boots, aren't you, Jenny?
I'm done quaking because I've discovered that you're right.
$5 for me.
Okay, yeah, I'll Venmo you.
You better. I'm going to take a screen cap and prove it to everybody that you did it.
Ha!
Okay, so, Riley makes a good point, and I say that very rarely on this podcast, but he is like, listen, how about instead of you taking care of me, we agree to take care of each other? And
wow, what an asshole. What a terrible boyfriend. Who would
you don't
say such
have
a
to
thing?
The more time goes by, the more and more you become just like Riley, Jenny.
Tall and broad-shouldered and butterscotchy and hunky.
Listen, I'm just trying to say that I think that this is a good point, and I think Buffy thinks it's a good point too. Like, she really is like, oh, yeah solid point,
I mean, so much of her life is, even though she's got like her squad, so much of her life is about being like the leader and the weight of the literal world being on her shoulders. So it's like really hard, I think, for her to get out of that mode, which makes it, I think that's a big challenge for her and for her partners in her partnering.
Yeah, so I think that this was a good moment for them on sort of the heels of a rough episode so far for them. But then I'm sorry to just like give everybody whiplash, because then we just come to a screeching halt when she's like, can you kiss me a little bit better? And then he tries to and I
wish that they didn't kiss all the time on camera.
Rough. It's real rough.
Well, do you think it's extra hard because there are, I think, more than a foot different in height? I think she's 5'2" and he's like 6'3" or something.
Listen, I'm sure it's a little more difficult, but I'm just saying that they should have figured it out by now.
Sorry, he's 6'2". They're exactly 1 foot apart in height.
I really think that there are people in this world who are 1 foot difference who can kiss more passionately than this hunk of cardboard kisses her. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So Buffy makes a really horrible circle out of red sand. It's almost a square. It's so bad.
She really did need help wrangling the spooky sand.
Yeah. Dawn wants to watch, and Buffy's a jerk about it. She's like, fuck off, Dawn.
Then we get a little Santa Barbara B-roll. Hey.
And
hours
Santa
go
Barbara
by.
B-roll.
The sun goes down. The sun sets over Santa Barbara. I mean, Sunnydale. And then Buffy is tripping.
Yeah, she's tripping hard. There's like wind chimes.
Not that I know anything
background.
about tripping. I just assume this is kind of what it's like.
Sure. Jenny, have you? I know that you and I both have done mushrooms, but have you ever done LSD?
Whoa! This is a family podcast.
Well, like everybody has mushrooms, like with their chicken and in their soup.
Yes. I like shiitake mushrooms
But I was just wondering if you had ever like used any stamps on your mail.
No, I've never done acid. Have you?
No, I've not. I've done a lot of mushrooms and never acid. Because I think at heart you and I are both hippies, which is why I chose to do mushrooms and not acid. I was like, these come from the earth. They have to be safer.
I was just like, these are available.
Okay, so where are we? She's tripping, and I have a question, and it actually is related to tripping, which is, if you send your friend off with a bag of mushrooms or a bag of magical mushroom trippy sand supplies, wouldn't you at least go with her? Like, somebody should have been in the house with her. Like, Willow is in the basement, or somebody is somewhere.
Well, I think the deal is that the magic box is so bananas that nobody could get away. Where's Tara?
Where is Tara? But yeah, I find it, like, I was nervous for Buffy because it's very apparent that she really is tripping pretty hard. And then she's just alone, like walking around in her house tripping, which cannot be good, cannot be fun. But anyhow.
Yeah, I can say from someone else's experience that this is not your ideal scenario.
Right. So she runs into Joyce down at the foot of the stairs, and there's nothing. And that's what Buffy says. Joyce is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But
yeah,
what we're learning is, of course, that there is no spell around Joyce. Now, this is really fucking cool. I don't know how you feel about this reveal, but like when I
think it's awesome.
It's amazing, right? She looks up at the picture of Dawn, Joyce, and herself. And the image of Dawn is just fading in and fading out of the picture.
Yeah.
It's like bone-chillingly fucking cool. And if you watch this in like real time, and this is the moment when you're like putting it all together, I just like felt my stomach flip. And this is like the 8th time I've watched this episode at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely unsettling.
Yeah, and we've talked so much about like how well they do dream sequences, and I think that this goes in that bucket of like this isn't technically a dream, but it's like a dream adjacent. And we see it in the pictures that she picks up. She goes into Dawn's room.
Dude, she goes into Dawn's room and you see all of like Dawn's like preteen or early teen girl accoutrement everywhere. And then it's like fading in between that and sort of like a storage. It just looks like they have a room in the house where they put everything that like they don't know what to do with. And, you know, like paintings that aren't on the wall and just stuff that's being stored. Clearly illustrating that Faith could have totally lived in that room. It's not like the monks created that room. Faith could have lived there and been okay.
Wow.
Another reason I'm mad at Dawn.
Wait, Dawn had nothing to do with that.
Ah, well.
You should be
She
mad
made
at
me
Joyce
certain.
and Buffy
She
and
made me
everybody
certain.
else. Right. So, okay, good point. Solid point. Because I think in the beginning, even you and I, Jenny, thought maybe when the monks created the Dawn, that they also created the extra room in the Summers house. But you're right. This proves that they did not. That room was always there.
Yeah.
And Dawn is like, who said you could come into my room? And Buffy is like, you're not my sister. And so...
And we see Dawn, actual Dawn, fading in and out of existence also.
Yeah. And she's like, you stay away from my mother. She slams her into the door. And like at this, it's really rough, but I think it's especially rough because if you watch this episode in real time, they put a couple of like breadcrumbs down to make you think that Dawn knows that she is something else, right? We saw her writing that diary entry like a couple episodes ago. And then they designed her lines and her actions to kind of allow you as the viewer to believe that she's in on this. But when you watch it again and you know she's not, it's like mega fucked up to know that she has no idea what's happening and her older sister is just like gotten violent with her and is saying like really horrible things to her.
Yeah, it's bad. Then the phone rings and it's Giles and he's like, the glow orb is a Dagon sphere and it's used to ward off ancient primordial evil, that which cannot be named. And Buffy's about to tell Giles what happened, but then Dawn is over her shoulder like a freaking horror movie. And a problem that I have is that Dawn acts like a total fucking twin out of The Shining for the rest of the episode. And there's no reason for it.
I agree.
Like the way that she talks to Joyce in a little while. Blah, blah, blah.
I agree. I think that they could have, because obviously this is what I was just saying, right? That like this is done intentionally, but I think that they could have had the viewer believe it without being so heavy-handed about it because it isn't believable. Once you know that she didn't know, it's like when she walks in with the fucking teacup, like it's like,
come on.
Right. I think it's a little over the top. So I get what they were trying to do, but I agree with you. I think there's not really a rhyme or reason of how she acts for the balance of this episode until we get to the end.
Yeah.
So Spike. So this is a fucking one of the biggest fucking moments in Buffy history. Spike is, so the last time we saw Spike, he was having a sex dream about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I'm sure that you, if you were watching this in real time, are like, where the fuck? Like, because that's how you ended it. And so we've gone all this way in this episode. We haven't seen Spike. And it's like, come on. And then there he is.
Spike. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. And he fucking, so Buffy is like, Spike? And he says, he turns around and he has a cigarette in his mouth. And we've seen Spike a million times, fucking puffing on his cigarette, talking Spike talk. He takes a cigarette out of his mouth. He puts it out and he's like, hi, Buffy. Which is
sir,
incredible. He has lost all of his cool, lost all of it. It is just drained out of his body. She's like, yo, tell me why you're fucking here in my fucking yard. You've got 5 words or less.
And he uses those words. He fills his quota in the following manner.
Out for a walk, bitch.
Do you remember when we were at the vampire ball last year in London?
I do.
And we were during like the parts of the day where we would like hang out at a table and people would like bring stuff over for us to sign. How many people who had just been to James Marsters' table who had James write out for a walk, bitch, on their James Marster photo? Like So many.
So many. He's a man who truly knows his audience. That scene where Spike is in his crypt sort of posing for the camera in the black and white. Like James really also embodies that. He knows how to work a room. You know what I'm saying? So Buffy is very frustrated. And so we're not up to the sexual tension awards yet, but Jenny and I had like a bit of a debate about some of our contenders for the nominations. And I said, don't worry, Jenny, I will prove to you that there is sexual tension in this scene. And it isn't even, because I think it's already there by the fact that he put his cigarette out and said, hi, Buffy, like a tiny little puppy dog. But I also think that it's there because after he says, out for a walk, bitch, she says, no one has time for this, William.
Ooh. Okay.
She calls him fucking William, Jenny. So
I missed it, and you're right.
I rest my case. Thank you. We'll get to the full award ceremony in a little bit, but that's my case for this part. He's like also. She's like, why are you in my yard though? And he's like, your house is between parts and other parts of this town. And then
meanwhile, Spike woke up from that dream and he was like, okay, I need a plan of action. Now, previous suitors of Buffy, what have they done? Ah, yes, they've stood outside of her house looking up at her window.
Yeah, let me do that. And instead of charcoal, I'll make cigarette ash.
Exactly. He's just like got the Angel playbook in his back pocket.
Oh, God. And then, right before he leaves, he's like, you need some satisfaction besides shagging Captain Cardboard there with you, Spike. And then he just totally he becomes completely discombobulated. He's like, and I never really liked you anyway. And you have stupid hair.
When we know from last episode that he thinks she has shampoo commercial hair.
That's true. Getting your stories mixed, buddy. You're getting your stories mixed. And then Buffy sees that, of course, he was not just smoking that one cigarette. There was a whole pile of butts.
7,000 cigarette butts on the ground.
Yeah, he's just been like watching Buffy trip fucking face from outside. Also, something that I never noticed before, which I'm sure all of you did, I just somehow didn't, is that as she leaves, Dawn's creepy fucking head is up in the screen window upstairs.
Oh my God, I missed that.
Oh, it's really funny, actually. Okay, so Buffy goes to the warehouse. She sees the hole in the wall. Joyce comes home. We talked about how Dawn is being fucking weird with her cup of tea. She's like, I made this for you, mother.
Why so creepy?
But then we go to the warehouse for real. Buffy's in, and she sees the monk who's tied to the chair. And she's like, you planted the Dagonsphere. I know you did that for me. And the beast is behind Buffy doing a dance. And if you are familiar with GIFs of Buffy, this is an infamous GIF of her in her little red dress with her perfect hair bouncing back and forth from one foot to the other. But Buffy knows she's there.
Yes. But it's not good enough. It doesn't really do her a whole lot of good to know that the beast is there because the beast just kind of tosses her across the room, right? Or no, the beast punches her across the room.
Yeah, she does all of those things, but for the first thing that she does is she fucking punches her and she flies across the room. She cracks the wall.
It's very bad.
And we know immediately, like, we've never seen, maybe we have, but very rarely do we see Buffy sort of fly through the air like she does after she's hit.
Yeah.
So this is serious. Anya, back at the Magic Box, gets offered a job.
She's got loads of input about how Giles needs to move forward with his business.
And it's all says, good input.
Dear Lord, if I offer you a job, will you please stop talking to me right now?
And she's so proud. Okay, boss.
She's like, okay, boss. I love it.
So, meanwhile, the fight between Buffy and this unnameable beast is continuing, and it's really quite a cool fight to watch because they are exactly the same size and they also have, it seems, the exact same capacity for quipping, which we also don't get very often. We'll get that with like with a Spike and Buffy fight. Like we get that, right? They're like fighting. Right. They're kind of equally matched. They're not the same size, but like almost. And they both quip, you know, they're both being funny. And we get that here. She's like, you hit me. And she like punches just like a full piece of cement off of the wall with like one tiny blonde fist. Throws Buffy across the room. And then Buffy takes the monk and jumps through the window, reminiscent of when Faith and Buffy flew through the window together.
Ah, happier times.
Yes. And the beast would have probably easily caught them and captured them, but she broke a heel.
Yo, those heels are tough to watch. There's like a close-up earlier in the episode when she's pacing in front of the camera and it's like at floor level. And like watching her feet like kind of like shake a little
wobble,
bit.
Yeah.
On those heels is very stressful.
Yeah.
But she breaks her heel, she stops, she stomps. And basically her stomp brings the whole building down.
Yeah, she breaks her heel and then her heel breaks the house. You know what I mean? Ha ha ha. So then we get probably the most important information that we've gotten this season outside between the monk and Buffy.
Yes, the monk is like, you must protect the key. Many will die if you don't keep it safe. The key is energy. It's a portal. It opens the door. Buffy's like, the Dagon sphere? And he's like, no. It's a whole other thing. We kept it safe, but then the abomination found us. We turned it into a human and sent it to you. And Buffy's like, Dawn.
Yeah. And she's like, what about my memories? And he's like, we built them. And she's like, this is really
traumatic. This is traumatic.
It's like massive trauma. And it's also like a massive reflection of Buffy. And what we often, I think, forget about Buffy's power and strength. Because this monk is telling her that he and his other monks have entirely violated not only her home, but her body. They've put this human and we learn, and that's important too, that Dawn is human and helpless and has no idea. She's been also, I guess you could, she's also been violated in the sense that she's been created and also has been given fake memories. Joyce's memories have been forced. Giles, literally everyone, anyhow tied to this family has had their memories altered to accept Dawn. And she sorry to use heels again since we just got real heely in the last conversation, but on the heels of this conversation where she has quite literally just learned about this violation, this trauma, this like, there's not even a word for it. That's how big it is.
Yeah.
She goes home and she accepts Dawn. She gives the love to Dawn that basically the monk has told her, like, she's innocent. And Buffy holds on to that. Like, that's what she like closes in her palm and holds on to when she goes back for this final scene, which is like chilling. Like it really, when I was watching it, and I think, I'm sure it's chilling for all of us to see some of the ways that Buffy shows her strength. And we all, I think, use Buffy's strength as a metaphor for a lot of things and to reflect on our own abilities. But we're so deep, you and I, Jenny, in this experience. You're writing a fucking song from her perspective every other week. We talk about this show constantly. We're watching the episodes many, many times. And so I think being that deep and like really watching her do this in this last scene just shook me in a very powerful way of like really thinking about what she's doing in this moment.
Yeah, it is like such a massive metabolization.
Yeah.
That she is able to execute. But I think like probably some of it has to do with her, just like being ready to have the weight of the world on her shoulders. And some of it has to do with like, she still has like 13 years of memories, 14 years of memories. Yeah. Even if they're not real, they're still there.
Yeah, that's true. And they give a nod to that in this final scene. So after the monk dies, we should say, R.I.P. monk.
R.I.P. monk.
Yeah. And Buffy goes home and goes up to Dawn, who's like, you hurt my arm, butthole. I have this theory. The theory is that like I'm mom's real daughter, which is quite ironic. And you were adopted from like a bunch of baby howler monkeys. And Buffy says she's sorry. And Dawn's like not accepting it. And she's like, you can't even accept an apology. You always do that ever since. And it's the first time that she accesses a memory and realizes it's a fake memory, which is really powerful. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, I mean, do we even need to say how incredible she is? Like, it's
so good.
What a thing to play, right? Like, it's so nuanced and small, and it's so believable. You see it flash across her fucking eyes, and it's just really incredible. And you know, they have this like cute sisterly banter
about the Bad Day Club, and Dawn's the president, and Buffy's like, can I be the vice president? And Dawn's like, no, you're the janitor.
Yeah, and then I
actually don't know if Buffy says, can I be the vice president, or some other office, but is relegated to the janitor.
Yeah,
position.
She's like sort of playing with Dawn's hair, which is just really big gesture of love, like whether it's sisterly love or not. It's just like, this is a very tender, caring action. And Dawn looks at her as the last thing that we see in this scene, and she says, what's wrong with mom? And Buffy says, I don't know, which is also like, right, we spend the episode sort of like, oh God, we're gonna see the spell, and oh my God, Dawn's the key, and like da-da-da-da-da, that you could almost forget that the reason that they did this spell was to see what was harming Joyce. But now that it's revealed that like nothing is harming Joyce, what does that mean? What is going on with Joyce? Are the headaches a result of the memories that are being forced on her? Like, they don't know, and that's also super scary. So Buffy's come home with like all of this and is holding it. Like, it's just like, I feel like the image of the end of this episode is like Buffy sort of like wrapping up the whole Summer's home in her arms and just like holding it, you know, which is really moving and powerful. Buh.
Ooh, you're telling me.
You know what can lift the mood, Jenny, from this tender, loving, sad strength moment is sex. What else?
Sexual attention award.
Well, it's that magical time in the episode where we nominate some people for sexual attention and the award that goes along with it.
Just kidding. That was last week's joke. Okay, Jenny, we got four sets for them. This was a hard one. I just want to say that Jenny and I both really struggled with getting you good nominees. There was not a lot of like overt sexual tension.
No, that's not what this episode is about, but we found it where we could, and here are your nominees. In the first slot, one pairing that you could vote for if you want to is Spike and Buffy. Because Buffy's calling him William, and he's smoking a lot of cigarettes outside her house.
I think I'm going to put Buffy and William as the actual contender.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, next up, while we're talking about Buffy, why don't we talk about Buffy and Ben? Because he's all in his like scrubs, and she's all like, I'm very, very, very strong. And he's all like, I'm alarmed by that. But
I'm alarmed and a little aroused.
Exactly. Sometimes alarm can develop into something else over time. So Ben and Buffy is in slot 2. In slot 3, we've got, are you ready? The most that anybody sweat in this or perhaps any episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's the Beast and the key. The Beast wants the key.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to correct you. Angel sweat more than anyone will ever sweat in this entire series combined during yes, you all know what I'm talking about.
When he fell naked from the sky.
But also when he was so sick because Faith shot him with an arrow.
Okay. Never mind.
Collective amounts of sweat are massive from Angel, so.
The Sweatual Tension Award definitely was awarded to Angel. And then in the 4th slot, wow, I just want her here, there, and everywhere. It's Anya and Money. Because we're starting to see.
Probably, no spoilers, but probably not the last time that Anya and Money will be a contender.
Yeah, seems likely we might see more of that pairing. So if you'd like to be part of our beautiful democracy, please find the Sexual Tension Award for this episode on our Twitter @BufferingCast and cast your vote. Oh, God.
Ooh, cast and cast, you say?
That's right. I said it.
Yeah, the poll stays up for 7 days, and we recommend that you vote today if this is the day that it goes live, because sometimes some of you email me and you're like, I can't find the poll. And I'm like, well, you just have to dig back. You have to scroll back through all of the GIFs and all of the tweets, and you have to find it. So if today is Wednesday, go now and cast your vote at BufferingCast.
Sexual attention award.
Great, 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 great. Jenny, I believe that we have done yet another glorious episode of Buffering the Vampire Slayer.
Truly, we have. It's over. There's just one thing left for us to do, which is to say who we are and where to find us.
Who are you?
Therefore, thank you for asking. I am Jenny Owen Youngs, and when I'm not watching Buffy and making this podcast, I am usually making another podcast, a newer podcast called Veronica Mars Investigations with my buddy Helen Zaltzman. So you can listen to us talk about a different petite protagonist who is fair of hair and keen of mind over on that pod. And the thing I do the most, the thing I do more than anything else, is make hot jams. And I will tell you what, I have 5 of them in a body known as an EP coming out this very Friday, November 15th. My EP, Night Shift, will be out on all digital platforms and available on vinyl and CD. And you can find it via my website, jennyowenyoungs.com. You can find it by searching my name on your digital platform of choice. Please listen to some jams if you want to. Cool, that's me. Okay. Oh, also, you can give me a shout on Twitter at Jenny Owen Youngs. Anytime, any old time, I'm there.
It's so exciting. It's like the monks took the key energy and turned it into a human named Dawn, and you took all your music energy and you turned it into an EP named Night
Called
Shift.
Night Shift.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who are you?
When I'm not using Buffy to make metaphors for Jenny's music, I am doing a lot of different things. Namely, I have a podcast that is a short run. It's My So-Called Life podcast called The Boiler Room. I'm doing it with Joanna Robinson, and we are 10 episodes into our 19 episode run. So we have passed the halfway mark. We're having so much fun. Joanna got the chance to talk to Devin Odessa, who plays Sharon. We have a couple of other very fun interviews coming up. It has been a great time. It's one of my favorite shows. And if you've never seen it, you should. And also, as you probably know already, I do a lot of work with the LGBTQ community. I've been setting up Skype sessions with middle school and high school GSAs as a new initiative where I'm raising funds to offset the costs for them. So I get to offer them for free. It's been really fun. And you can find out all about that and more on my website, KristinNoeline.com. That's KristinNoeline.
You did not say your name at the top of that. And while you were talking, I was like thinking about that and how I might let you know at the end of it. And then all I could think of was, what if every time you said your name at the end of the episode, you were like, my name is Kristin! Just a thought, just something to think about for the future. Cool.
Wow.
Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at BufferingCast. You can drop us an email at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at our Cleveland phone number, 216-30-BUFFY.
It's true. And you can support us in many, 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 many ways. Namely, go to our website, bufferingthevampireslayer.com. If you click on Patreon, you can join our Patreon family. We have so many things happening over there. We're just a little over a month away from doing a very fun Buffy watch on December 21st, which is going to be super fun. Our prom tickets are also on sale for the public as of today. But if you were a patron, you would have had advance ticketing. You would have been able to scoop up some of those VIP bundles. We give the songs to everybody in advance. What else do we do? So much. I do a comic book club. Jenny does concerts sometimes. We have a mailbag episode headed your way very soon. So it's a fun place to
over there in Patreon.
It's a fun place to support us and to join the family of Buffering. You can also go to our store and buy some of our sweet, sweet merchandise. 'Tis the season, whatever that means. Bufferingthevampireslayer.com. Just click on shop. There's tons of stuff over there. It's very fun. And last but certainly not least, you can rate and review us on iTunes. It's so helpful. The more reviews we have, especially if they're good, the better that it is for people to find us and to know that we rule.
Hell yeah. Until next time.
Rock!
What's up right now? Did I trip somehow? Don't bet on me today. Think my brain's half shot. What's real? What's not? It's like toss split my sense away. 'Cause there was Giles in a wizard cloak and a great big pointy hat. I didn't think when I woke up today that I'd see that. My mom, she's no fool, tough and pretty cool, but lately her head's been like one big landmine. And frankly, it bites, 'cause Dawn's got her spotlight. I wish I had someone in whom to confide about my sister fading in and out like a light bulb going bad. I didn't think when I woke up today that I'd see that. This beast, oh wow, red dress, kapow, I might just be out of my depth. 'Cause she punched me straight across the room like a scarecrow made of rags. I didn't think when I woke up today that I'd see that. Didn't think when I woke up today that I'd see that. And I guess Dawn is the key, but that's not all she is to me.
Hey, you beautiful Scoobs. This is Laura Zach from Angel on Top.
And I'm Brittany Ashley, also from Angel on Top.
For the last year or so, it has been our great honor to host a sister podcast to Buffering the Vampire Slayer, in which we rewatch every episode of the Buffy spinoff Angel in tandem with the equivalent Buffy episodes.
If you've not yet taken the journey from Sunnydale to Los Angeles to brood with us, and even if you've never watched an episode of Angel in your life, we're here to tell you that season 2 is a magnificent time to join our family.
The second season of Angel is jam-packed with objectively good television, and you can expect more of your favorites like Cordelia coming into her own powers, Wesley battling inner and outer demons, Angel walking his cluttered path to redemption, cameos from Buffy regulars like Faith, Spike, and Willow, and
more Darla. Plus, you'll get to know new characters who are some of the best in the entire Whedonverse, like Charles Gunn, defender of downtown LA's most vulnerable, and Lorne, the emotionally intelligent demon who runs a karaoke bar.
Our Angel on Top community is growing every day, and we'd love for you to join us for queer feminist analysis, new jingles, and every episode a new poem from Angel's point of view.
You can find Angel on Top on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play.
Until then, see you at the next crossover.
Ooh.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Red Elf Bantwine, wherever podcasts are available.